All right, moving on to wiring. I think that's what we're gonna move on to next. Cutting out the old, because I've got brand new, full, old school looking wiring harness. And it comes with simple to follow diagram. Should make all this super simple, so I don't necessarily need to follow one for one because it already tells me. If I kind of give myself, leave this kind of hanging so I know where it was routed, I can route it just like the original. So do I need those? I don't know. Do not know. This went to the battery. Negative. I don't think I need these guys for the gauge, but I don't know. How do I know? How do I know? So this was attached here. I took it off. I should put those screws back before I lose them. Good way to mind your stuff. Always put it back where you got it, and it'll be there when you need it. Something I wish I'd have learned about 2 decades ago. Hell, maybe even 3. Still not very good with my tools. I leave them laying out here everywhere, and then I can't find them. Case in point. Anyway. I got ADD with these projects. Big time. I can only work on one thing for about an hour and then I start working on something else. As soon as I pass it, I think, oh, I'll work on that. Oh, piece of candy. Oh, piece of candy. And that's how the whole project goes. I should get my ratchet. This is too long. Way too long. I'm just removing wires. I don't know if I'm going to need any of this or not. I don't think I'm going to need this because everything's now reduced with that other piece. Are these regulators? What are these? Somebody know? Hey, if you watch this, then you know. Off of 51. What are those? Do I need them? It's labeled, which is awesome. B-A-H. Yeah, and this is B. So B-A-A and H. So I'm guessing but A wouldn't be for alternator because it was a generator. So what's A for? Amp meter? That doesn't make sense because that was a big wire like this from the battery just running through this measuring resistance. So that's not necessary. So what was A? Accessories? Accessories? Is that what that is? Accessories? I bet it is. Accessories, battery, accessories, horn. And this is resistors for all of that. Or fused, I guess. Fuses? Fuses, because it didn't really have fuse block, right? I don't know. If you know, let me know. Tell me. What are these? What are these guys? I've run it already kind of from the cab. And the really cool thing about this is they're all labeled. So you can see there, I think you can see there, maybe. Yeah. And front park. It's awesome. In the middle of, I'm working on taking off the dimmer switch. Right now, I already undid the old voltage regulator. The rest of it's inside in the cab, under the dash. A good chunk of this just won't be used because it's got radio and power for radio and power for a bunch of stuff, but I've got to add in a voltage reducer, I believe it is, to go from 12 volt to 6 volt for the gauges back behind here. And then you'll see underneath, yeah, I've got to mount the fuse box. I got to disconnect the rest of these wires. So there's my door switch wires right there. And this has a heater in it. So I guess this is the Deluxe 1951 Ford F1 Deluxe, because it had the interior finish, the door cards, and the heater, and a cigarette lighter, radio cutout. Yeah, so anyway, that's where I'm at. That's what I'm doing. So I got new 12 volt headlights. I just gotta, and I already did those, but I plugged it in. I gotta put it in on the ground and put the ground in there. So I got that done. I wired up the this side down here for 2 filament bulbs. So I pulled that whole wiring out, added new wiring in there. It's just for the 2 filament bulbs, so I can have the blinker and the parking lights. I still have to do this side. I haven't wired up the left side yet, but the right side's wired up. I think I got just about everything for the battery and the ignition set up. So that's the new starter solenoid. New battery wire there. Batteries in, location where it'll go, new negative. Starter solenoid's wired up. So this is from the push button for the ignition. And then that section right there will be from the alternator when I drop the engine in. And that's for the horn, 12 volt horn. I still have to run a wire, and that one's got me confused because that's where it existed. Horn switch comes off of the bottom, and you can just see the wires hanging out down there, barely, maybe. Let's see. There it is. So that goes all the way up the shaft. Excuse me, to the horn. So, yeah, wires got to go up through my loom and back over to that, and then a wire from the battery to that. But I've also got one on the inside with this loom, so I'm a little confused. But I've got it mostly set up here for the headlights and all kind of tucked in. This is an extra right here in case you want yeah, forgive all my pauses. My brain stops for a minute. But electric fan. So if we hook up an electric fan, this is set up. And for this truck, I think we could fit an electric fan in front of the radiator here. Radiator goes here and keep the original. So that's there if we wanted it. There's also there's another short one in that loom for an antenna. I still got to wire up the dimmer switch. I've got it plugged in and the wire's running from it. That's what these are. And I wired up one, but it's, yeah, you can see I've got way more excess than I need. So I'm going to clip these off and redo it. This goes to the brake switch on the master cylinder itself. But again, I'm confused with this because I also have one that goes interior to the turn signal switches and stuff. So the rest of these are engine wires. So that loom runs through, and I just left it sit up here for now. The only one I think I really need is this one, pink and red, or white and red, whatever it is. This goes to this one or this one, and it's labeled, so I just have to look at the label. But one goes to the coil and one goes to the alternator. So yeah, this is the exciter for the alternator, so that'll go to the alternator. This one's power for the alternator, which I don't need. I'm just going to pull the power right off of the coil. So I'm not sure. I may pull that one back out of the loom. Yeah, then this one is choke power. So another power that I don't need. I don't have electronic choke. I have this instead right here, manual choke. So that's the choke wire, which works. Then oil sensor and temperature sensor with these two. So that's what these guys are, just sitting up here. So when I get the engine drop back in, I'll just lay that across the top right here of the engine, or more accurately, coming from here this way, kind of like these guys are that I did when I jumped it. This is going back to the battery for the charger from the alternator. And then this one's for the exciter right there. And as I said, I'll just run power to this, literally from the coil to this. Yeah, so what next? So the interior is mostly done. Still kind of a mess, forgive me. I don't pick up after but I got the new turn signal switch. I've got the key, or should I say the ignition. So that's power to the coil and battery power, and then this would be accessories right there. So that's all wired up. Then I have my lights. Lights are all wired up. My gauges. So yeah, and that's all set in there. The only thing I don't have the battery run through there yet. I think I may run from the alternator back through this so that you can show that it's charging. That one I didn't run the wire through there yet. Speedometers got the signal indicators in it, but I didn't pay attention, but I've got indicators here on the lever as well, and then a hazard. So if you pull this, it holds it in hazard and blinks. That releases it. Left signal, right signal. But then I also set up, get in here where you can see it. Yeah, so I also set up the speedometer. Left and right signals are there, and then the top little round circle that you see, that indicator would be brights. So that's all set up. This is the ignition switch, or the start switch, kind of like modern cars. I still got to ground that out better. I've got a ground underneath the dash for that. And then what's left, this is what's left wiring up to the rest of my signals. So left and right indicators. And then I'll tuck all this back up underneath. This is for tachometer. I don't have one, but it's there. And then this is for the wipers. And I got to figure that out because I'm not sure that motor will run on 12 volt.
I scream to the bars, hey, who's there? That's the moment I only hear desolation. I get up, break over in my sight, scarred below grow. In a wide room, I scream to the bar, hey, who's there? Somebody help me, or I'd like to tell me where I am.
The issue is I'm not good at this. I found I make way more mistakes with this, hooking these guys up, and it's super frustrating, and I don't know if I have enough. Let's see. Cute pictures of all my crimped, mistaked pins, my crimp pins where I crimped the little retainer clips down, had to cut them off and redo it. So yeah, here's pictures of my mistakes. I don't know how many times I did this, 10 plus, probably. Frustrating, but learning curve. We all keep trying, and that's what I'm gonna do. So yeah, here we go. 1, 2.
That's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 for turn signals. Yeah, female receives bigger, so I should put the female on
This side, right here, because the wire is bigger. So I was saying how I screwed up. And I don't know if you guys can see. How you can't see what I'm looking at anyway, can you? Let's go up a little higher up there. Yeah, maybe you can see. So this guy, it has 3 little sets of bends in it, right? I'm crimping the back one over the plastic insulation, this over the wire, and that stays. That's what actually locks it in position inside of this thing. So it goes in from this end and then comes out back. Not sure what happened, but I lost my audio there. So anyway, I was talking about how the little pins clip into the plastic portion here, and that there's a male and female plastic piece and a male and female metal piece, and then there's these inserts that you shove inside the plastic pieces to keep it from watertight. Yeah. Anyway, on to the rest of the video.
A broken light
pinch those wires together. And that should give us enough signal. Let's see if it's actually working. Is it working? Yeah, so we got power. But I didn't hook the flasher part up yet, so there you go. So once I finish wiring those, that'll be it. Yeah, why I'm not getting the park over there, but there you go. I do have my flasher hooked up, so I don't know why that's not working. I'll have to look into that. But that's where I'm at with it. Yeah, so we're getting power. We're just about done. I'll finish doing that. This is I got it tucked in here now. I'm gonna run it up and over, I think like it originally was for the fuel. It actually ran on that side and down, which you can see over there. Maybe zoom in a little bit right there. That's the wire for the fuel sending unit. I'm gonna run it on this side and over. I don't think it matters, but that's fuel. I think I need to get a new one. That's where I'm at with the wiring. So you can see we're almost there. I'll give you an update when I've got all that completely done. So I still have to ground the front headlights, finish the front parking and signal, finish the dimmer switch, which I think that's part of my problem with the rear tail lights, is the dimmer switch isn't all hooked up, and I think all that kind of has to be hooked up. I know that's part of why it won't flash. If the front isn't hooked up, the LEDs won't flash in the rear. That 12 volt has to steal some of that power. So there you go. I'll give you an update with the rest when I get there. What else? Oh, put my finger in the way. Working on the bed also. I So that's the wiring. Most part in a nutshell. What's left is the engine. I kind of put everything in its loom. Oh, and I still have to do the brake switch down there, but I gotta run wires
What?
too.
Voices? ADD. Yep.
Yeah, sorry, lost track. I gotta run wires to the hydraulic switch on the master cylinder, and I have yet to extend those wires to do that. So I have to do that, and I got to bleed the master cylinder and that kind of stuff. So I think I want to bleed and finish the brakes before I put the wiring to the brakes. Yeah, there you go. Appreciate you watching. Keep on watching. If you've watched a few and you're not sure, please like and subscribe, and help me out, help a brother out. I need to get a bunch of subscribers. I want to make this a monetized channel, and I'm a long way from that. So if you watch any episodes at all, please subscribe, and thanks.